Nerfs are coming in live in less than an hour, and they're actually bigger than anyone could have imagined. They did gut Pally in this one, and honestly, probably not many people will be sad about it because it has been too strong for too long. But in this video, we will go over all of the nerfs, the few buffs, and we will talk about what this might mean for the meta. So if you're serious about Hearthstone, drop a like and subscribe to the channel, and don't forget you can hire me for some Hearthstone coaching. Now, let's check out the patch.
You are not prepared!
Okay, here's the patch. This is the draft variants us streamers and whatnot got a little bit in advance, so we can actually prepare these videos for you. But yeah, dev comment, we hope you're enjoying Whizbang's workshop so far. We've seen you experimenting with lots of new cards and archetypes across most classes and finding a few outliers. This patch is mostly to weaken those outliers to offer a couple of higher confidence buffs based on early data. Okay, starting off with the smaller nerf, obviously the Tiger plushie was a little bit too strong. Literally is like a 5-mana Zilliax, but it also gives you a 1-mana little idiot with lifesteal and whatnot. So yeah, very powerful card, and no surprises here. It's going from 3 mana up to 4 mana. Definitely feels like it's still gonna see tons of play. It's just way too good. And yeah, I'm okay with this nerf. Honestly, it should never have been released as a 3 mana. Like, what exactly is 3 mana about it? Usually a keyword bumps the cost of a card by 1, and this thing has 4 keywords. Like, this is literally 7 mana worth of keywords. I guess it's 6 mana worth of keywords because the stats is for a 2 mana minion. So yeah, bumping it up to 4 feels a little bit more fair, because in the end of the day it's a class card, so it can be more powerful than your typical cards, and yeah, I think it's a pretty fair nerf. Moving down to the other nerf, it's Deputization Aura, and Deputization Aura is losing 2 attack, which is not a small feat, especially after you see the next nerf. But yeah, Deputization Aura no longer is going to be giving the big boy damage, only 1 damage now. The big effect is still going to be the lifesteal, but this is definitely going to hurt the current Pally archetype, so they will be probably resorting back to things like Crusader Aura, and all around they're probably going to be resorting to more aggro-oriented decks, not so much OTK variants, especially after you see the next nerf. Like, I did not expect this personally, but look at this. Shroomscavate goes down from a 3 mana down to a 2 mana, and it's no longer giving Wind Fury. Big yikes for Pally. And yeah, I mean, it was just too good, man. It was just too good. Now it's only going to be giving Divine Shield and still going to be excavating a treasure, and it's only going to cost 2 mana, so I guess you're going to be able to excavate a little bit faster. This is somewhat of a buff for Shamans, I'd say, but let's face it, not really. The excavate package for Shaman is kind of lame, and the Wind Fury was definitely OP for anybody who gets their hands on it. So yeah, big fat nerf here, big fat nerf for sure. And no more we're gonna be seeing nonsense Leroy Wind Fury OTKs from hand for above 30 damage from nowhere. It is definitely a thing that I am okay with happening. The game was just a little bit too fast with cards like this. So yeah, good riddance. It lived a full life. Now it's time to let other cards shine instead of this thing. Okay, dev comment. Paladin is the biggest power outlier since launch, with lots of damage from hand and healing. We lack the overall Pally pattern of the deck, but we're making these adjustments to tone down those two overperforming aspects of it. Thing about these nerfs is there are decks out there with above 65% win rate. They do wonderfully well without any of these cards, aside from the Tiger's plushie, but let's face it, this nerf is absolutely warranted, and it's not gonna break the card or anything. So you can still play Flood Pally with great success. They didn't use this, they didn't use this, they did use this, and they still will because it's a great card. So yeah, Pally is still gonna have some pretty good decks at the top, but obviously we're not gonna be seeing as much the standard hand buff Pally. It's still gonna be strong, but without the OTK aspect, it's only gonna rely on big fat stats, and I'm not sure that's gonna be as amazing for it. It's still gonna be a good deck, but people are just gonna go away from it because the big payoff OTK your opponent from hand was what people really were looking for. Like, big numbers make people happy and all that nonsense. So yeah, Pally is still gonna be in a good state, just not with the same decks. Moving down to the Hunter, and we obviously are gonna be seeing Awakened Tremors losing 1 attack on the 3 idiots. Not that bad, but like I said in the patch teaser video, These are no longer going to be as efficient at buffing your Watcher of Myths, so maybe we're going to stop seeing that card as much. And obviously, you're also not going to have as much early game damage like this. It was also a great way to control some early game minions. But yeah, this is going to be a little bit worse now. Still a great card. I still believe they're going to be running it. If they ran it before, they're still going to be running the Tremors. But maybe they're going to stop running Watcher of Myths as much. Who knows? Maybe nothing's changing. Moving down to Thrall's Gift. And like I said in the previous video, I'm pretty happy that the devs are paying close attention to what's happening, especially in top 1000, because Nature Shaman is definitely a force to be reckoned with, and there's literally nothing you can do about it if they get their cards. Thrall's Gift was giving them 0 mana Lightning Bolt, and it's no longer going to be giving Lightning Bolt, it's going to be giving Lightning Storm instead, and I, for one, am very happy with that change. It's a nice little AoE for them to have like that. 4 mana Lightning Storm, not amazingly amazing, but still flexible. So we're still going to be seeing this card in Highlander Shamans, but Nature Shaman might actually not survive this. Okay, the dev comment, Nature Shaman is primarily a sentiment outlier with access to a lot of damage very early in the game. However, it's also expected to get a better matchup spread after the other changes being made in this patch. This change removes some of the burst damage and redundancy in the deck. We think Lightning Storm is another good and flavorful option for Thrall's Gift, weakening this specific deck but offering options to other Shaman decks that weren't there before. Okay, yeah, all around, definitely I'm happy with this nerf, and yeah, basically again managed to predict this one, at least most of it. They're going to be changing the spells you're going to be getting out of this, but then again, what else were they going to change? Okay, moving down to the Aftershock, another obvious nerf with bumping it up from 4 to 5 mana. Again, we nailed this one in the coffin, same with Odin from 8 to 9. And both of these nerfs are okay. They're definitely not going to be deleting the Warrior class. Odin Warrior is still going to be strong. It's just going to slow down their big boy turn with a turn. And they're also going to be denying Warrior to actually be able to do something while dropping the Odin. Like, let's say if it's turn 10, they could have done something like Bladestorm into Odin or some other nonsense like that. And now that will not be the case. They will have a very, very slow turn, like just a 9 mana do nothing instantly on the boards. It's gonna leave them in a little bit of a harder spot, because if they're behind on the board already, they're probably gonna be losing the board even harder after that. So it's not gonna kill the deck, but it's definitely gonna tone down the power of it a little bit, not too much. And lastly, we have the Ziliax nerf, and like we said, the discount module is getting a little bit of a up in mana cost. Goes up from 4 mana to 5 mana. I was expecting even more, honestly. Guess they're really going to be fine-tuning this card. I believe we're going to be seeing Ziliax in a lot of patches for the future. Something is always going to be broken about Ziliax for the next few patches, I do believe. But yeah, I guess I'm okay with this one. It definitely is dropping down a little bit too easily, a little bit too fast. Upping this a little bit up, upping the mana cost a little bit here. I'm not against it. It should be toning things down with Ziliax a bit. Dev comment here, the reception to Ziliax Deluxe 3000 has been just about perfection. We love all the different variations people are trying, but ticking module was proving to be a bit too efficient. We hope this change will bring this Ziliax more into line with the overall power level and also encourage more continued Ziliax variety. Okay, don't forget that all of these cards will be eligible for full dust refund in the following 2 weeks. And you can also write refund into your collection, and that is gonna list all of the nerfed cards you can get full dust value for. And if you're not using the cards literally right now, there's always it's always a great idea to just disenchant all of those cards, get the full dust value for them, and if you even decide you want to craft them back, you can literally do so right now for the same amount of dust and disenchant them again for the same amount of dust. You're getting it, right? Like, it's literally no damage for you to disenchant while there's the the nerf window. But even if you decide you want to be crafting these cards back in the future after the 2 weeks passed, you can just craft them back for the exact same amount of dust, and you're not going to be losing anything in the process. So yeah, that is why it's always a good idea to dust refund cards like that when they get nerfed in the 2 weeks window. Okay, we also have a couple of buffs, and yeah, Sky Mother of Yana goes from 6 mana down to 5 mana, still same effect, same everything. I'm not sure if this is really gonna unlock the card's potential, but I guess people are gonna be a little bit more enticed to actually experiment with this one, and we might see something, I hope, on the meme end, because if something like this becomes too meta, that's not gonna be too great for the competitive scene, but what do I know? And lastly, we have Frost Lich Cross Stitch. And this is not even a buff, it's actually just a rebalance. Like, honestly, it's literally a rebalance. Now, from 5 mana deal 4 damage, it's going down to a 4 mana deal 3 damage. And the effect remains absolutely the same, still no lifesteal, still just a basic bitch 3/6 elemental with freeze. I guess it's not horrible, in the end of the day it's a 4 mana 3/6 with freeze, and you can actually deal 3 damage even to the opponent's face or even to your own minion, if you really want to be getting a 3/6 freezer on the board. And 3/6 freeze on the board is nothing to scoff at in today's day and age. Like, you will be great against aggro demon hunters if you can freeze their face, you will be great against Odin warriors if you can freeze their face. So yeah, it does help the card a little bit more, but I don't think it's gonna change much for the mage class just yet. That's it for all the patch, that's all the nerfs, that's all the buffs. Like I said, Pally should remain strong with different variations of mainly Flood Paladins, I'd assume. Aggro Paladin should still be fine, but yeah, Shroomscavate is not gonna be a part of a lot of Pallies nowadays. I would still expect to see Tiger Plushie a lot, not as much Deputization Aura either. We're probably gonna see a lot more of the 4 mana Aura instead. Hunter remains the same. Nature Shaman probably is gonna be not a deck anymore. It wasn't really a deck on the lower ranks because it's kind of hard to play, and we're not going to see as much in top 1000 probably. Warrior should remain relatively unchanged. The Zilly should still be a pretty good card, and I don't really assume much is going to change in much of Druids using Sky Mother of Yana, nor Mage using Frost Lich Cross Stitch. Aggro Demon Hunter is going to remain a very strong class. Wheel Warlock is going to be a bit more powerful as well. And yeah, all around I think those would be my thoughts for the meta to come. Hope this video helps you figure out what you want to be playing when the patch goes live. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget you can have me for some Hearthstone coaching. Thanks for watching. I'm Kris05, and I'll see you in my next video or stream.